Assalamualaikum, my name is Aitun. The title of our project is UK car accidents for the year 2005 to 2015. Now let us look at the research questions. We have two questions, which are what are the factors that contribute to road accidents and what are the effects of it. Although we only have two questions, we could find many inputs from the data set that we have chosen. And for our data mining process, we have used CRISP-DM approach. Okay, CRISP-DM is a methodology that provides structured approach to planning a data mining project. This model is an idealized sequence of events. And first stage is business understanding. From business perspective, objectives and constraints need to be identified from the research questions, which is the hypothesis that I have showed just now. In the second stage is data understanding. Okay, to understand the data, we have carried research through term paper for initial findings and hypothesis for our project. We have selected the key attributes that are useful for our datathon from the many attributes presented in the data set. Okay. For the third one is data preparation. We have tuned the data so that it would be usable to conduct our research. This including checking the missing value, filtering value, and generating the attribute. This leads to the fourth stage of the methodology, which is modeling. We have used modeling techniques like clustering and data and decision tree to support our data mining task. The fifth stage is evaluation stage, where we summarize the findings or the results regarding if our project meets the initial business objective, that is our research hypothesis questions. And the stage 6 is the deployment stage, where the evaluation results will be used to come up with the final report of the datathon. Next, we have selected a total of 12 attributes, which is the age of driver, the gender of driver, days of the week, which means in which days the accident happened. Is it on Monday or Wednesday, something like that. The light condition when the accident happened, is it dark, is it a bright day, the weather condition, was it raining, was it hot, the road surface conditions, was it slippery, was it like rough with photos and all, type of road, which is it a roundabout, is it one-way road, two-way road, and the junction detail, is it T-junction, is it private road, something like that. Casualties type are people that involved in the accident. Are they like cyclists, pedestrian, horse rider, car rider, and casualties, severities. It means is it the accident is very severe or slight or fatal, something like that. And the vehicle type involved in the accident, is it cars, is it motors, lorries, and vehicle configurations, is the vehicle left-hand drive or right-hand drive?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afif Ahmad and I will continue with the data preparation or data pre-processing. The first thing we need to import the data. So our data is road accident data. Okay, because we have too many attributes that it cannot show all. Just proceed next. Okay, we need to change some of the data types of some attribute. Okay. Day of the week we need to change to polynomial. Road type also polynomial. Junction details also polynomial. Light condition also polynomial. Weather condition, road surface also polynomial. Casualty severity also polynomial. Casualty type, vehicle type. This one was vehicle is left-handed. Also need to change to polynomial. And also sex of the driver. Okay, I guess that's all that we need to change. Next. So we will save to the accident data. These are all our data. So we only have 10,000 example because of the free version of RapidMiner. Next, we import the data. And then we need to select some attribute. So we only select the attribute that we need. Okay, the first attribute that we need is day of week, time, road type, um, junction details, light condition, weather condition, road surfaces, casualty severity, and also casualty type, vehicle type, was vehicle left-handed, sex of driver, and also age of the driver. Oh, I'm sorry, we doesn't need time. Okay, apply. Okay, so after we run the process, see it only listed 12 attribute that we need, and we can check the missing data. There is no missing data, but actually in the data there is the data has been changed to some numbers if it is unknown. So we need to filter the data. So for the road type, so for road type, we put it does not contain 9. And then for light condition, does not contain 7. For weather condition, does not contain 9. For was vehicle left-handed, does not contain -1. For sex of driver, does not contain 3. And for age of driver, it must be 16 and above, because in UK age 16 can only start driving. So okay, so after we already filter the data, it only shows 7,807 data that is not missing. Okay, so after we import data, we select attribute. We also already check the missing values and we filter unwanted data. So now we need to generate attribute. So to generate attribute, we drag it here and we will generate the severity. And we use if casual severity is equal to 1 or casual severity equal to 2, it will consider as a major accident. If not, it will consider as minor accident. Sorry. Okay, so you can check here, some are major, some are minor. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to my friend to continue the process.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Akilah and I will continue with modeling. So firstly, I will use clustering. So we just key in the clustering here and I will use k-means. So just drag it here. And then for the cluster, I decided to use 5 clusters first. And then for the measure types, I want to use mixed measures. And so we will wait. Okay, so this is the cluster model. So we have 5 clusters altogether. And this is the distribution. And you can see that cluster number 4 have the highest number of items. And the cluster number 3 have the least number of items. And then for the centroid table, so these are all the attributes and the clusters. So if we can see from here, row by row, they are all mostly identical. You can select 3.6, 3.7, 3.6, and yeah, it's consistent. We can say that it is consistent. And to read this, we need to have the guidelines. So this is the guidelines. I make it side by side to make it easier to read. And so these are all the attributes and the clusters. So we will start with day of week. So with day of week here, we can say that 3.7, 3.8 are all inclined with 4. So we can say that Wednesday, most people get accident on Wednesday. And then for the road type, 1.3 is 1. So the location is at roundabout. And for the junction detail, 2.6, 2.7 is 3. So at the T junction, so if it's at the T junction, it's most likely to have accident there. And then for light condition 1.3, so it's 1 in daylight time, because logically we can say that during daylight there are many vehicles right in daylight, so that's why there are many the most probable time to have accidents occurring during daylight. And then for the weather, we can see that it's inclined to 2, which is raining, no high winds. So maybe we can say that because of raining, that's why many cars or vehicles involved in accidents. And for the road surface, it's inclined to 2, which is wet or damp, because of course most vehicle will skidded, or because the road is slippery when it's wet. And then for the casualty severity, most of the casualty are in serious, they are seriously injured. And then for casualty type, 3.7 is almost to 4, which is motorcycle over 125cc. And then maybe because motorcycle over 135 is very high speed, and because they are motorcycles, so they are most likely to involve in bigger accidents. And then for vehicle type, 3.5 maybe going to 4. Also motorcycle over 125cc. For the was vehicle left-hand drive, the answer is no, because in UK it's the same like Malaysia, they are driving on the right hand side. And then next is the gender of the driver. So we can say that 1.8 is inclined to 2, which is female. So maybe because female is clumsy, or maybe because the weather is raining, right? It's raining and the road is slippery, so maybe the female are most likely to occur in the accident more than the male. Okay, so for the age of driver, this is the age we have from 33 to 65. And for the severity, we can say that almost all are inclined to 2, which is major severity. So for plot, this is the graph. It is all consistent except for the age. So that's all from me.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Iza Akila and I will continue to do the second modeling for our project, which is the decision tree. So as we all know that in order to do decision tree, our dataset need to have label, but our dataset doesn't have label, so we decided to generate another attribute into the dataset, which is the severity. So this decision tree will look whether the accidents will lead to major accidents or only minor accidents. So in order to do that, first we need to set the role. Okay, in here we choose the severity and make it as the label. So severity is the label, and we can see here that the severity parts, the severity columns will be highlighted. And then to do the decision tree, we have to first do this validation. Okay, and then we need to connect these 3 lines, which is the model, the training, and also the average. And then double click here and start doing the decision tree. Okay, and we need to apply the model. And lastly is to do the performance. And we need to choose a performance classification as we are doing the decision tree. And then we connect it all together, the model, the threshold, and then this one. Okay, and then we run it. Okay, so from the result of the performance, we can see that the accuracy is 100%. Okay, this is because what it is being predicted is true. All that being predicted is true. So, and that lead to the accuracy to be 100%. We look at the decision tree and we only get this decision tree where only one attribute is being shown, which is a casual severity. Okay, this is because that the decision tree only performs a split, so it means that the other attributes does not have a strong correlation to the label, which is the severity. So this is the result. So as we can see from the description, we can see that the major accident is 730 and the minor accident is 7077. Okay, so that is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hasha Edi, and I will be proceeding with the data evaluation. So here we can see that the first attribute to proceed of explaining is day of the week. So here you can see the numbers of the numbers are all pointing towards number 4. So as you can see here, number 4 is Wednesday. So why we think Wednesday is the day with the most accidents is because Wednesday is possibly the most stressful day for people at work, because Wednesdays are not close to weekends either way. They're not right after weekends where people are all freshen up and have had their leisure time. They also have when it's Wednesday, they also have Thursday and Friday to look forward to. Not really to look forward to. They still have Wednesday and Friday. They still have Thursday and Friday to still be working before having their weekend again. So as for the second attribute that we think is interesting and worth explaining in the video is the road type. So as you can see here, the road type are pointing towards number 2. So here, sorry, they're all pointing towards number 1. So here, as you can see, number 1 is actually roundabout. And this could further be supported with this third attribute, which is junction detail, mini roundabouts. So from here we can tell that we can come up with the theory. We can see that roundabouts are the type of road that has the most accidents in UK. So why is that so? Possibly because people are not aware of how to actually and correctly use roundabouts. People are not aware that perhaps you are advised to go on the left lane, to stay on the left lane before entering the roundabout if you wish to exit on the first and the second exit. And even and you should probably stay on the right lane if you wish to go on for the third and fourth exit. So not many people are aware of that lesson, aware of that practice when according to our observation. So maybe we could come up with advertisements or animation that could further educate people and raise awareness of how important it is to use the roundabout correctly to avoid accidents. And lastly, what we think is a attribute that is worth that we think is interesting to be explaining about is the road surface. So as for the road surface, okay, so here you can see that they are all pointing towards number 2, which is wet or damp, which is interesting because you would think that accidents would happen more if the road is covered with frost or ice, right? But here actually the fact is that in UK, accidents are likely to happen more when the road is wet. So why is that so? We think that when the road is wet or damp, you can still see some people are actually speeding. Maybe perhaps they're confident with the grips of the tire, or maybe they're confident with the driving, which could possibly lead to fatal fatal occurrences. So people tend to be it's in the nature of humans to be more careful when they are aware of the dangers. So maybe when the roads are frosted or covered with ice, drivers tend to be very careful and drive at a slower speed compared to wet or damp. People still have the courage to speed on the road. So I guess that is all from us. We thank you for watching and thank you for your time. Assalamualaikum.